All right, this is an incident that took place in Dubai, UAE, and it's a female. She's Indian. She sent me this message some time ago. I'll not specify when exactly. And she had taken a paid session, and I'd given her advice. And I did ask her if I could make a video on this, but at that time she said, "No, please. I'm just scared if my boss comes to know about it, or anyone comes to know." However, after the problem got sorted out, now she was like, "Okay, fine, you can make this video." So I'm not going to give her details, and I cannot be specific due to the sensitivity of the issue, but I'm sharing this with you so there is something for you to learn. Okay, so let's get on with the details. Um, this female, she obviously, Indian. She wanted to work in Dubai. She applied online, and after trying again and again, she did get some interviews, nothing was happening. So finally, she took the courageous step of actually traveling to Dubai and applying for jobs there. Struggled a little bit, didn't take my service or anything. But like I always tell people, it's a matter of if you don't have a strategy, it's a matter of volume and luck. And luck was on her side because she finally managed to get a job in a company. The CEO of the company or the owner of the company somehow managed to get her CV, took her interview, and he finally gave her the job. Okay. Um, she didn't have like hardcore experience, so he was more like mentoring her, teaching her because she was appointed as his secretary, whatever. So she was slowly learning the skills and she was gaining proficiency. Everything was good. Not a very high salary, but it was salary plus transport and accommodation. So pretty decent. There were two or three females in that organization as well who are staying in the accommodation. Okay. Very soon, as her proficiency grew, he used to take her with him for meetings, business meetings, so she could take down the notes, minutes of the meeting. And when they were in the vehicle, he had a big ass 4-wheel drive. Most of the Indian entrepreneurs in UAE have this big ass vehicle. So she used to sit in the vehicle and take down notes, and he used to keep dictating notes to her. And, obviously, when you drive, you stop and you order food, snacks, burger, and all that. So they started to develop a relationship, not like sexual or anything. They got closer. Okay, she started to trust him more. She used to take him as a kind of a father figure. Okay, and she started trusting him more. And very soon he started to take interest, which is normal and natural, about when she'll get married, or what about her family, what about her parents, what about her brother, you know. And he very soon he started to give her like extra bonuses or extra like a tip kind of a thing. Okay, keep this for you, and he used to give her gifts. So she developed a kind of closeness. She considered him as a mentor, as a guide or whatever. Uh, However, oh, by the way, the CEO, he had a wife. He has a wife. Sorry, has a wife. He has a family. Okay, I'll not give specific details there. But now, what happened is very soon, because he was paying her more money and giving her more, she didn't mind, spending more time. Like, let's say her work hours are 8 in the morning till 4, 5, or 6 in the evening. Um, he used to go for these long, drawn out meetings. So she used to accompany with him, beyond 6 o'clock. And he used to pay her for the overtime. I think you kind of get a clue where this is headed. So he also had this habit of stopping by, some of the hotels here and there because he used to spend money. He used to go for a drink and all that. And this was a red flag which she should have been able to understand. But one fine day, he asked her, we'll just stop by the hotel. Okay. He didn't take her to a hotel room or anything. There was music and he would just eat and drink, at a restaurant. Okay. So she was totally fine with that. So then that became a kind of a normal thing that they would have dinner together. and he would have his alcoholic beverage, whatever. And this also became normal until I guess he kind of took it to a like a you know like a nightclub kind of a setting, not actually nightclub, where he had to meet someone. So he took her along with her. But there, when you are with networking in a not a nightclub, like a pub, I think pub or bar or whatever. Well, she was uncomfortable, but he gave her, something to eat, and so she was pretty okay because she was making more money. But then what happens is once you are in this setting and the alcohol flows, there's always a possibility it'll grow more. And this is exactly what happened at one of the particular meetings. It seems that he stayed a little bit more late than usual. And as they were driving back, he, obviously was smelling of alcohol. And then in the car, as they were driving, he kind of misbehaved with her. She was sitting at the side. So he was like, you're nice, and started feeling, and she was feeling uncomfortable. And then he put his hand in between her legs, and, I don't want to get too graphical. Then she just like froze. And because I think she froze, which I did speak to her, because I think she froze, he kind of, obviously alcohol, he kind of mistook that as she's enjoying it. And then instead of dropping her home, he parked the car at one place, and he started talking, and she got very scared. She didn't know what to do. And as he was crossing the line, at some point, then finally she like broke down and cried. But he had already done a little bit at time, and thankfully, he kind of realized what he was doing. But I would say the damage had already been done. Okay, the damage had already been done, and he was like, "Hey, come on, don't cry," and all that. Now, if the story had ended there, I wouldn't, it wouldn't have been a big problem. But then he started to continue this, whereby he was enjoying, hey, don't take it. And he did give a extra sum of money just to keep quiet. She thought that was the end of it. She didn't want to talk about it, although she was traumatized. But it seems that he started to take advantage of this because now he kind of realized that, oh, she's keeping quiet. And this is where she got in touch with me because she's totally confused. Okay. Here is a guy who gives her good money, has given her a good life. Everything is great, but now sex has kind of overpowered him. And this is where she needed guidance. And I can tell you a few things which I did tell her. Number one, I told her, you have to confront him. And that also not confront him when um, he is drunk. You have to confront him in the office, not in front of everyone, but in his office cabin, very politely. And I had to run her through the dialogues of how to practice because she didn't know. She didn't have any kind of assertive training. And I told her not to take the role of crying and being sad because she was afraid. I told her you have to confront him this thing. Second one is from now, if he tells you to come for meeting after office hours, no, it's a straightaway no. And if it is, the meeting is going to be, and you have to communicate that my time is this. I don't want to work after 6 o'clock. And I told her, you have to address what he did. You have to address and tell him, no, I don't accept that. I don't want that. I'm not comfortable. And if it's going to continue, please, I would like to resign. I would like to resign and leave. Okay. And it took a little bit of convincing, and obviously because she has not done it, but she did do what I told her to do. And I also informed her to tell her parents, to tell her, no, sorry. I asked her to inform this guy that she would inform her parents and her family if he continued. Because the problem is, if you tell your family, they'll, explode. And as a backup, I told her, tell a couple of your friends that if in case something does happen, that they have this kept as safety. And I told her to confront this guy by informing him that if he would continue, she would have to inform her parents, have to inform the local authorities, and she has already made a video and spoken to her friend that if in case something happens to her, that to go to the police. And I told her, just tell him this is not blackmail. I'm afraid of you. Be very polite. Be very kind. Be like, don't tell him, if something happens to me, I'll rape her. Not that way. I kind of mentored her on the tone and the way. And as usual, I told her, expect this guy to have a response that you never expected. Like maybe he will laugh, maybe he will, you're threatening me, you know who I am. It can go any way. And as predicted, the guy did laugh and say, you really think that I'm going to be afraid, that kind of thing. She said, and I told her what to respond and how to respond. And she followed my advice and said, sir, I really have a lot of respect. You're like my father figure. I'm not trying to be smart. You're more powerful than me. You're more richer than me. You can do anything. It's just I'm very afraid, and I just shared my insecurity. My only request to you, sir, please, let's continue this relationship professionally. And, if you no longer want me to work for you, at some point you can ask me to resign, but just give me time to find another job. So because I, mentored her how to do it properly, it was not smooth sailing. He did lose his temper. He did ignore her for quite some time, but eventually I think cooler heads prevailed. He called her after, I think, a period of 3 days or so, called her to the office and said, fine, if we can amicably sort this out, okay, it'll be nice. And he did tell her that it's better you work for another company. I'll give you the support that you need. You can look out for another job. And he actually kind of helped her, made it easy for her to transition. And he did give her a kind of sum of money as compensation and told her, make sure that this incident or whatever stays with you. Okay, don't leak it out. And it's only after she joined another company and she was confirmed. I told her, until you confirm, do not under any circumstance let anyone know. Not let anyone know means jump the gun or do anything. Okay. And so she moved to another company, and now things are okay. She is not in bad terms with anyone in that company. She didn't fight with him. He still has a friendly banter, although it's not like before because he broke her trust. He violated her. But she's happy because he did give her a severance package. That is more like hush money. So why am I sharing this with you is to tell you that these are the incidents that can take place. It's very unfortunate that someone who's like a mentor, father figure, ends up having this kind of experience. But then again, remember, when you spend more time with your boss, going out with him, eating out with him, visiting places, sometimes he would take her for shopping and buy her here and there when he would buy something for him. This eventually leads to closeness, and then, when you're talking of a man, sex always comes into the picture. It is, if even me, who is not very hyper and crazy about sex at this age now, if I were to spend most of my time with another female 24/7, I'm not at home. I only come to sleep at home with my wife, and there is this new young girl I'm with 24/7. Obviously, it's going to happen. I'm being honest with you. No matter how much self-control you have, at some point you will get close. And then when you add alcohol to that equation, man, it's impossible to not have an incident happening. Either it's you who will like the girl, or the girl will like you, or you both will mutually, just say nobody's watching. What's behind these four walls stays between us. So there are incidents like that. In fact, there's another incident which I'll share with you, but not in this video. So yeah, this is what I wanted to share with you, and I just wanted to tell you, be careful, especially if you are a young female, or even if you're married. But just remember, the more time you spend with a member of the opposite sex, the more the chances of such things happening. That is why there are a lot of men out there who are not very comfortable with their wives working with a male colleague for long hours and spending more time. This is bound to happen. Anyway, this is what I wanted to share with you. Good, bad, ugly. Feel free. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is me signing off. You guys take care.